Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are brothers on tennis. And you know what, you guys? We have come to the end of the tennis season for 2019.
Oh, thank you.
Bryce, what you mean thank you, man? I'm sad. I am sad, man.
Man, 2020 is going to be a full year on the tennis calendar, not only for the players but for us.
Quietly, right?
We're going to 5-6 tournaments next year.
Well, and you've got even more on the docket because you're trying to get to the Grand Slams,
yeah,
my man.
It's going to be a full year, so we can go ahead and wrap up 2019 so brother can get some rest.
Right? Man, I tell you what, it is kind of crazy because as we were wrapping up the ATP finals, and I was like, oh man, I don't get tennis for a few weeks. But that's the one thing about tennis. And I guess for a fan, that's what's awesome is the off season isn't really long whatsoever. No. So it's kind of like you really don't get a chance to miss it, which is the reason why I love football so much is because football, they get that off season. Right. You get to start, itching for it. And then the next thing you know, preseason does start and you're like, oh shit. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's no real break. And even with the players, when you think they're on break, they're out there making big bucks playing. Coins. Yeah, playing exhibitions and doing special appearances and all that. So
exactly.
It's a grueling tour to be on, but you
gotta love it.
Yeah, we can go ahead and close out 19. I'm all right with that.
And that is what we are doing. So folks, hopefully you all enjoyed the tennis season for 2019, and hopefully you were listening to us a little bit, and hopefully we provided a little bit of information and hopefully some laughs for you. And we're just gonna be bringing a whole bunch more in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So with that, let's do a recap of what's happened over the last couple weeks here. So just really quickly, we had the Next Gen finals.
Yes.
Some good stuff. Our young talent, they was battling it out. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, Bryce, I was shocked at the person who actually won that event. Because, you and I were talking about it. We thought DeMonar was going to just go in and do his thing because he ended up being runner-up last year to Tsitsipas. Right. He made it back to the final.
He did.
And I tell you what, that dude, Sinner, 18 years old, he was like, listen, Alex, this ain't for you. This not your time. This my time. It's me.
Right.
Dude, he got up in there, and I have to say, I was impressed. He played a very aggressive style of tennis, and literally, he was pushing DeMonar around, and which is a hard thing to do, because DeMonar is Mr. Defense. He runs around, he gets balls back, he can play aggressively at times, and just really surprise you from that, but he just had nothing. Sinner was just like, nah, son, I got this power for you.
Now, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Do you think his style of play is sustainable?
No. And it's funny that you mentioned that because even, I think it was Paul Annacone was talking about, he wonders how he will do when there are elements. Because remember, this was indoors.
Right.
So this is very consistent environment, no wind, no distraction,
Right.
When you get the elements that come into play, that's really when it begins to, you determine how good you are.
Right.
So I think because of that, I think he will struggle a bit. But I tell you what, that tournament though, he was like, ain't nobody scared of y'all. He did the damn thing. I was truly impressed. And I honestly feel like he's definitely going to be one of those future stars. So, 18 years old, man. So, yeah.
Somebody to definitely keep your eye on.
That's right. Somebody to look for. So, that was the Next Gen, man. Next Gen.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the people that are already in the Gen.
Right.
And next we had the Fed Cup final.
Yes.
And we had on the women's side, and for, once again, we never know what the level of tennis intelligence we have in terms of our listeners.
Yeah.
But the Fed Cup is the women's version of the men's Davis Cup.
That's right.
And both of those are team tournaments based upon your country.
That's right.
So there's usually a couple of singles players, there's a doubles pairing, and at the end of the year you have a country that has won. Yeah. So in the finals for the women, we had France versus Australia.
That's right.
And I must say, going into the Fed Cup finals, I thought Australia had the edge.
I did
because they had Ash Barty, who was the number one singles and doubles player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a little somebody from France named Kiki who wanted to know if you loved her.
Right? Because shoot, Kiki was like, you know what? Listen, Sasha. Nobody's scared of you. You go go back to wherever you want. You can leave me. That's fine. I'm gonna still do me.
And let me tell you what, her doing her meant in this format. She played 3 matches. She played 2 singles matches and she played 1 doubles match.
Yes. And
she won all 3.
Yes,
and that gave her country a 3-2 victory over Australia.
Man, Kiki was like, look, y'all gonna give me some love. Listen, she was like, and my boyfriend Dominique Thiem is trying to step out and do some things too over at the ATP finals.
Right.
Oh, I need to represent.
Right.
And she got out there and she straight out clowned. She won her first match. She got up on Ash Barty and was like, I'm not scared of you. I don't care if you are number 1 in the world. Double singles, it don't matter. We play a Fed Cup right now.
Right.
This mano y mano.
Right.
So she got out there and she played a fantastic match and took it. And I mean, that in itself is surprising. But then she gets up in the doubles and she like, hey, anybody scared of you? I play doubles too.
Right.
I was invited to the year-end championships for the women. I was up in there.
Right.
And in fact, didn't they win?
Yep. She won the year-end championship. Because remember, she was ranked number 1 in doubles earlier in the year.
That's exactly right. So she was like, Ash Barty, anybody scared of you? She was like, hey, I got some things I can rely on too.
Right.
Come on now. Shoot, Bryce.
Oh my goodness. You could have named her Kiki Clark, talking about I declare victory.
I declare victory. What? Come on now, man, dude, that was incredible. For
but
France
you know what?
To pull that out.
But man. I'm happy for it because it was clear that in the news she was taken by surprise when Sasha left.
She did,
right?
She did,
and there may be, she may have been in her feelings a little bit about that.
Right.
And so for her to win the doubles year-end championship and to come out and to lead her team in winning the Fed Cup. I'm really happy for her.
I am as well. I think that honestly, Kiki has, in my opinion, underperformed.
Yes,
over these last few years. I don't know what's been going on, but she, to me, has definitely not been living up to her potential. Right. And to me, this is her potential.
Right.
Being able to win matches and really step up in the right moments. This is more Kiki Mladenovic. So, I mean, kudos to her, man. That was awesome. That was awesome.
So, congratulations, France.
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting you next year.
That's right.
For the French Open.
That's right.
But that was good work. So,
yes, sir.
As we transition from the Fed Cup finals, we had the men's ATP year-end final. Yes. And Isaac, all I'm going to say is I'm going to subtitle this tournament The Changing of the Guard.
The Changing of the Guard. Yes, sir. There was just so many things that occurred at the finals, man. I mean, the young guns were just like, you know what? We ain't scared of you. And we trying to bring our A games, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, it was just really, really incredible tennis that was played all week. It was awesome.
I'm telling you, although, and we'll go ahead and we'll jump to, in the finals, we know that Tsitsipas beat Dominique Thiem.
Yes.
But there are a couple of impressive things in there for me.
Yep.
Number one, we just finished talking about the Next Gen tournament. And Tsitsipas won the Next Gen tournament last year. 12 months later, he's winning the year-end championship.
The big boy title.
I don't think anybody saw that happening. No. I don't think we're going to see Sinner do that.
No.
Next year.
No, I know.
But what a year for him.
I mean, Stefanos has had such an incredible year. I mean, he has been playing some of the best tennis. And I mean, we kind of clowned on him a little bit because he was sticking his chest out there and got all within himself, talking about the big three need to be looking for me. And of course, Djokovic heard that and then put the smack down on him, and Roger heard that and put the smack down on him. But
and Rafa heard that.
Well, Rafa heard it, but I tell you what, Rafa did get the win.
He did.
He did get the win.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, he scratched that win. He scratched out that win
He
because
did.
unlike Djokovic and Federer that just literally put them things on him and was like, you need to get fed.
Right.
Nadal had a lot of problems with Tsitsipas. I honestly think that match is what gave Tsitsipas the confidence to make it through this tournament and to take that title.
I don't doubt that because he felt like he should have won that match. And
he should have, to be very honest with you.
But I'm still going to go back and say Nadal in the heat of that battle thought, oh, no, you ain't going to say somebody's looking over their shoulder. Take this L with you.
Right.
Take this L with you.
And he did. But I tell you, like I said, Bryce, he took confidence out of that because when he played Federer again, well, and let's be clear.
Right.
Federer did not do what Federer needed to do. Federer did this classic Federer thing, which is he can't convert break points. He was literally like 1 in 12 as it relates to break points. He had him love 40 on a couple of his service games, and just Tsitsipas Federer just couldn't close it out. And we've seen that from him in the past. And to me, he really should have won that match against Tsitsipas. Just couldn't convert break points.
Yeah, and I was nervous for Federer in that semifinal match because after he put the smack down on Djokovic, which he needed to do,
exercising them demons.
Yep, and I don't care how much Federer say, "Oh, I was passive." You may have been passive, but nobody else was.
Exactly.
Right?
Just don't lie.
So since he performed so well in that match against Djokovic, I was really afraid for him in the next match. I was he may have peaked
a little too soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I don't know. I think he needed to get that victory on Djokovic.
I think so as well because I think this will, in my opinion, help him mentally going into the 2020 season. Because literally, if he finished out the season again, having lost Wimbledon, that hurts. And like you said, don't care what he says. We know it hurts.
Right.
So by him being able to at least get a little bit of revenge, it feels to me like it allows him to set himself up to do some things and be able to put that behind him going into the 2020 season.
Right. And I'm sure he had to feel a little good that even though he lost in the semifinals, he was the only one from the big three to even make the semifinals.
Exactly.
Right? So he probably took a little bit, from that.
Yeah.
But I want to also give some love to Dominic Thiem.
Oh, we must.
Because one thing, to me, he reminds me a bit of Nadal in this aspect. If you remember when Nadal first came out, he was really kind of listed as just being a really good clay courter, right?
Yep.
And then he started to show, look, I can play on all surfaces.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we've been seeing from Thiem.
Definitely.
Right? Thiem is at first I was just like, oh, okay, he's a beast on clay, but I don't know if he can really compete at that level on the other surfaces.
Right.
But, shoot, having won Indian Wells, some other key non-clay tournaments, and here making it to the finals of the year end, where let's not forget he put the beat down on Federer and Djokovic, right?
Thank you. Exactly.
So I mean,
and Bryce, to be clear, he could have easily won this tournament. It was literally a third set tiebreaker that they went to, and I think it was like 7-5. So it was only a couple of points that separated him and Tsitsipas. So honestly, we could very easily be saying Dominic Thiem as the year-ending champion of this tournament.
Absolutely. And I want to give props to someone else too, and that's to Sasha Zverev. Now, listeners, you have heard me all year. Really, because I recognize the talent, right? And you talk about Kiki not living up to her potential.
Oh, yeah.
Sasha,
he did not this year.
Look, if Lindo had to walk away from you, then you know that there was something not right there. So it looks like he was finally rounding into form here at the end of the year. And I'm telling you what, like I said, title this tournament The Changing of the Guard, because this really felt like the big three were Zverev, Thiem, and Tsitsipas. Now, I will, one person we're not talking about in all this is Daniil Medvedev, who I'm giving him a pass. Because
me too.
Medvedev played a lot of tennis this year. I mean, it's tough making it to the finals of every tournament and all of that. So I think he probably, and I know all the players are tired, but I think he was probably a little more tired than everyone else, just based upon the amount that he had played. But do not sleep on him going into next year, right? Because all of those players we just mentioned, he can beat.
Absolutely. And have. And he has. I mean, he literally has. I could not agree with you more, Bryce. I think Medvedev is just, like I said, I think he just slowed down a little bit because it's coming to the end of the year. He's going to take his off season. He's going to fine-tune some things. And I honestly believe he will be one of the main contenders for the Australian Open. I really believe that.
Right. That top 7, I think is solid.
Yeah.
I think it gets a little more wishy-washy past there. Berrettini, I think, still has some more seasoning, to do. Monfils, you just never know. With
we
him.
love you, Monfils, but you just never know.
Right. Both RBA and Goffin, I mean, they'll have good weeks, but I just don't know that they have any weapons to really hurt those top guys on a consistent level. If those top guys are off their game, they can be beat. But I just don't know that they are going to be able to consistently compete at that level with them.
I do not disagree. Yeah, I don't know who's going to make up that 8th slot, but I do believe that the 7 that you see likely will be the 7 that will get back to the year-ending championships next year.
And I'm going to tell you somebody that might sneak up in there and reclaim their spot.
Right.
I could see number 8 being Wawrinka.
I agree with you because he has played some really good tennis rounding out this year. Like I said, we saw him play, and he's looking real good. So I agree with you. I think he might be trying to get back his spot.
Right, yeah, I hope so. And clearly, apparently, Marsha hopes so, too. For those of you who listened to our special episode with Marsha Douglas, Marsha, we talking about
yes,
you.
Yes, we are. Come on now. We know you got that love for Wawrinka.
He easily on the eyes. All right.
All right, then.
She gonna get me for clowning on.
You know she is, right?
So anyway, congratulations to Tsitsipas. I'm very proud of him. Because with Tsitsipas, sometimes you get the feeling that his cornbread ain't always done in the middle.
Right?
But he held it together.
He held it together here, though. He was like, "Yes, my cornbread is what? Baked. It is tasty." You crazy, man.
So,
man.
Now this week, so anyway, before we talk about this week, now we've had the year-end championships on both the men and the women's side.
Yeah.
We've had the Fed Cup completion on the women's side.
Yep.
We really only have one thing left before it's truly the end of the season, and that is the Davis Cup.
That's right.
And there's a new format this year. Top 18 teams. It's kind of hard to talk about it because we haven't seen it yet.
Right.
But we know that pretty much most of the top players minus Federer are playing.
Yeah.
And I just want to go out and say I applaud Federer for not playing. Yeah. He is the oldest of the bunch. He absolutely has to make sure he doesn't overdo it going into an Olympic year.
Exactly.
This little Davis, he's got a Davis Cup title. This thing is not going to do anything for his career, really. So
Fed's good.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Exactly.
But when we come back next season, we will talk about the Davis Cup and our thoughts on this new format, and if we think it's sustainable, and if we think it was good and entertaining, and we encourage all of you to watch.
Yeah, most definitely, folks. Go out and watch it this week. It'll be happening, basically, I think it starts, tomorrow and goes through the 24th. So, go and watch you some Davis Cup matches and cheer for the USA. But wherever you're listening from, cheer for your country and whomever. And, just enjoy the tennis, man, because we're, like I said, rounding out the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, our hot topic for today is I kind of want to go back to the ATP year-end tournament.
Yeah.
And as we've been talking, kind of changing of the guards, I truly believe, and Isaac, you and I were talking about this, that, in 2020, those other new 4 players in the top 7, the Medvedev, the Zverev, the Tsitsipas, and the Dominic Thiem. We really do believe that next year, one of them At least one of them, right? But one of them is going to break through and win their first major.
Believe so.
Now, listeners, Isaac and I have not shared our thoughts on this. So, Isaac, I invite you to go first to tell me, who do you think is going to be that person out of those four and why?
Okay. So, of those four people, the one that I honestly feel is going to break through or will hopefully break through and win a Grand Slam, I believe it's going to be Dominic Thiem.
Okay.
And here's my reason why. Like you said earlier in the episode, Dominic Thiem was initially known as just a clay courter.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, over these, I don't even know if we can even say 12 months. I feel like it's even been shorter.
Yeah.
He has absolutely transformed his game. He has won big titles on hard court. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he very well could have won this year-ending championship. He was within points of winning it. So for me, Dominic has definitely shored up his game on different surfaces. Now, grass, of course, we don't know yet. I still think he's got a little bit of work to do to really try and compete at Wimbledon. Mm-hmm. But to me, all of the other surfaces, I feel like he is going to be able to compete. And I think that mentally, he's gotten himself to a point where he's beating the big three on I won't say a regular basis, but again, in this tournament, he got up on Federer. He got up on Djokovic. Right. I mean, he's had some really solid victories this year. So his confidence in my eyes is really high.
Right.
So I feel like of all four, my vote would go to Thiem being the one to actually break through and to snatch a Grand Slam from one of the big three.
Okay. and you know what? I agree with you wholeheartedly in terms of your justification. Yeah. And one of the really cool things about these four players is that they're all very likable.
Yeah.
So I find myself rooting for all of them. You know, Sasha, there's been a little frustration for me because he hasn't quite lived up to his potential. But Medvedev, Thiem, Tsitsipas, you know, I really like them. And if it were to be Thiem, I would be very happy for him. Now, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to pick somebody else.
Okay.
And I am going to actually pick Tsitsipas.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to pick him is for a couple of different reasons.
Okay.
Number one, I think winning this year in was huge.
Yes.
It was going to be the largest tournament ever won for either one of them. But since Tsitsipas did it, and because he didn't blow Thiem out, because he actually stayed in there and battled and won at the end of third set, I think he's going to carry this over into 2020. Right. And it's going to be like a launching pad for him. Mm-hmm. The other thing, we've already heard with his comments. Now, granted, you know, we always say, you know, things can sometimes be misconstrued in translation. Yeah. But maybe it's not. Maybe in his mind, he's already thinking of the big three in his rearview mirror, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, belief is one of the first things that needs to happen before you can ascend to some of those, you know, kind of heights, right? And so clearly he already has the belief. I also think there is a special thing that he's got with his father. Yes. From a coaching standpoint.
I agree with that.
And I think it's just getting stronger and better. I do think he has an all-court game.
Yes.
Even though he still is not the greatest on grass, I think he is probably the best on grass out of the four that we're talking about.
I would agree with that.
And since the majority of the year is on hard court, you know, he's obviously very good with that. So, not disagreeing necessarily that it might be Thiem, but I'm gonna put my money on Tsitsipas.
I think I can't see anything wrong with that bet.
And I'm gonna go a step further.
Yeah.
It would not completely surprise me if it's Medvedev.
Exactly, right?
I probably would be most surprised with Zverev.
Same here.
Right.
Same here. I still feel like he's the one that kind of has the most holes that really need to be worked through. Even though he had the solid, you know, year last year and he's kind of gotten himself hopefully right this year, I still feel like there's a few elements that are just kind of cracks in the foundation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that serve is something you've got. Did you see the little, he had a post on, I think it was on Instagram, and it was him holding a sign, and it said, I will hit double faults.
I did not see that. No.
Or I will serve double fault.
Okay.
So he's just like, look, y'all, this is just gonna be here. He should have made a copy of that sign and gave it to FAA and let him take his picture with it too. But
Lord Jesus. Yeah, but the thing with Sasha is, and this is what happened in his match against who was he playing? I think it was a team. Anyway, he ended up double faulting the second set away.
Yeah,
and that's really where mentally it starts messing with you.
Right.
So that's why for me, he's got the most cracks to feel. But I still believe what you're saying. I still feel like he's definitely in that conversation for winning a Grand Slam. He'll get himself right.
And just because I just won't let this subject die,
okay,
Marshall love me for it.
Well,
you know, when you talk about the big three,
yeah,
and you talk about the next four, you know, me once again going back to Stan,
yeah,
he will be. Look, Stan is one of the best big match Grand Slam competitors we've seen.
Yes, sir.
All of his Grand Slam titles have come over
the big three.
Right.
Over the big three.
Right.
I think two of them might be against Djokovic.
Two against Djokovic.
Yeah, and one against Nadal.
So look, he get his ranking right, get some decent draws.
Yeah.
I mean, not like under, but like some different some decent tournament brackets.
Yes.
That he
so crazy.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
He's a threat.
I agree.
In any of those big tournaments as well.
I completely agree. Yeah, now that he's back healthy, you can never count Stan out.
No.
Stanimals is Stanimals is rough.
Right.
Yeah, he'll jump on any of the guys that we were talking about. You're like, I'm not scared of you.
Right.
This is my game. Yeah.
Wait a minute, y'all talking about one hand backhand? Don't y'all know I brought that?
I brought that. No, let me tell you. Come on now.
That is too funny.
Yeah, man. No. I agree with you though, and it'll be interesting next year to see kind of where Andy Murray kind of fares.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
he's gonna be trying to scratch back into get his name back in the conversation. So I'm excited about that personally.
Look,
I love Andy
2020
Murray.
is gonna be popping.
It's gonna be popping, dude.
It's gonna be popping.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. So yeah, I think we need this break.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that question out on social media.
All right.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts, listeners.
Yeah.
You know, who do you think of that big four will win the next Grand Slam? Or maybe there's somebody we're not considering. Maybe you think it's going to be Berrettini.
Yeah, maybe you think it'd be Shapovalov or somebody like that. I don't know.
But maybe, you know...
It's all right. We respect whoever you decide to throw out there. It's all right, folks. It's all right.
No matter how realistic or unrealistic your suggestion may be.
Shame on you. Shame.
So, speaking of people who got realistic,
right?
We had some retirement announcements come out.
Yeah.
And
we had some folks that were like, you know what, I'm good. I've done my thing, and I'm ready to call it a day and move on to some different things. So. And a few people we knew about because Ferrer did it earlier in the year, and I think I had known about Max Mirny, who is a doubles player, so he had kind of stepped away. We knew about Radek Stepanek because he had actually joined Djokovic's camp for a little bit. Those are some of the known folks, but the one that of course is the freshest, I guess, for me is the fact that Tomas Berdych is retiring. And I mean, Tomas is, like I said, that dude has had a fantastic career.
He has.
Czech player, always, just hitting the felt off the ball.
Right.
Big dude, always in really good shape. You never saw Tomas out of shape, boy. He was always up in there like, look, I'm bringing the fitness. And so for a big guy, I feel like he just did his thing, man. He was constantly in the top 10, top 5 at times, competed for a couple Grand Slams. Didn't quite get over the hurdle, unfortunately. Because, again, you got the big three, and they stingy. They stingy.
They real stingy.
They real stingy. So, man, right? But Tomas was one of my guys, man. I actually liked him, and I liked how he played. I mean, he was just straight up power, man.
Right. And I think everybody loved Baghdadis. You know,
my God.
Yeah, it was sad to see him go.
Yeah.
It was getting sad still seeing him play.
Yeah,
but
well, he was taking some L's. Yeah, unfortunately for him. But
so he's moving on at the right time. And
yeah.
Almagro, I used to really like Almagro.
Nico Almagro, right? I liked his game.
Yeah.
I liked him. He was fiery.
He was
fiery, man. He got up out there and he was like, "Look, I ain't going down easy.
Right.
You gonna be in for a fight when you get on court with me.
Right.
I like Nico.
But you know who the shocker was for me, and it wasn't even on the men's side. It was Subakova.
Man,
at 30,
you told me that, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was really shocked because I didn't think she was at all thinking about retiring.
Right.
I love me some Subakova.
Well, apparently she's been having a reoccurring issue with her Achilles, and I guess she just kind of was like, you know what, I've done this long enough, you know.
Yeah.
But I used to remember, her against Sharapova.
Oh my goodness, yes. Ain't but 5 foot nothing. I don't even know if she's 5 feet. Is she 5 feet?
5'3".
Look, just put her in your pocket. I mean, but I tell you what, she always came with game.
Yeah, she
with
did.
Fire. She jumped on the court like, listen, women, ain't nobody scared of you. I got some game. You may think I'm small, but I'm going to put them things on you.
Right.
Man, I love me some Dominika Subakova, man. We will miss her.
Who kind of reminds me of her as Putin Favor?
Yeah. Feisty.
Yeah.
How she was putting them things on Naomi Osaka. So Naomi got right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Very, very similar game.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
And then, although they have not retired yet,
right,
we have found out that this will be the last year for the Bryan brothers.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that honestly is huge news because the Bryans are just. I mean, you talk about Federer and Nadal. The Bryans put doubles on really on the map. I mean, mind you, you've had McEnroe and you've had some of the big teams play, but I don't know that any of them had that global of an impact like the Bryan brothers. I mean, they just, they personified doubles for the last maybe 15, 20 years. And they've just been incredible for USA Tennis. Yeah. And, so it was pretty, it was, you hate to use the word shocking, but, it was just kind of like, oh, wow, the Bryan brothers are going to retire.
Now, let me ask you a question here. So,
yeah.
I'm assuming they're wanting to retire together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because I thought Mike still had a little something left in him.
Well, and you would have thought that. They were talking about that on the tennis channel because I think they even asked him. Because, when Bob got hurt and Mike joined up with Jack Sock and they was wrecking shop. And,
yeah.
But Mike seemed to be very much like, nah, man, I'm tired. I'm ready to call this. And he was, very much with his brother, like, no, we came into this together and we're going out together.
That's cool.
And so he was very much on board. So, yeah, man.
Because I used to think that was going to be the case for Venus and Serena. Yeah. Even though they didn't really come in together. Venus truly was first, and then Serena came. Yeah. But I have a feeling that Venus is going to leave before Serena will.
Yeah, I'm like you. I think Venus actually, even though she hasn't said anything, I think Venus might be out next year.
I think so too.
Whereas I think Serena actually may hold on for a little bit longer. Right. A lot of people are saying, she gonna go out after 2020.
I don't know.
I think it's going to depend a lot on how she does in the Grand Slams for 2020 and the Olympics. Because if she's still competing, and hopefully she's going to be able to add to her Grand Slam tally. But I believe that she really wants to get to that 25.
Let me tell you what, knowing Serena, she knows what next year is. Yeah. Next year is her one opportunity to tie Steffi Graf and getting a Golden Slam.
Man, that's true.
So I think if she pulls that off, she would end at 2020. Yeah. Now, I don't think she will. Right. Even though I'm going to be voting for her too. Oh, yeah. But that has to be the biggest goal for her.
Absolutely.
This year.
Yeah. I think in years past, we could have seen, certain players contend for that Golden Slam, if you will. I think next year, to me, it would just be unbelievable for anyone on the women or men's side to pull off a Golden Slam. Because to me, the competition level is so ridiculous. I just can't see one player having such a dominant season and being able to take all the Grand Slams.
And I want to remind the listeners that I predicted like 6 months ago.
Yep.
And y'all can throw egg at me if it doesn't come true next year. But I have gone on the record as to saying Rafael Nadal will not win the French next year.
I don't disagree with that prediction. I really don't, because I just think that, and unfortunately for him, I have a feeling that if he doesn't, they're gonna of course tie it to the whole marriage thing.
We don't
blah
know.
blah blah. You know how they did Pete Sampras?
Yeah.
He went with Bridget, and then he didn't do anything at Wimbledon. And they started jumping up on her. It's
Right.
not right, but you know it's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Whitney said, it ain't right, but it's okay.
But it's okay.
You know?
Speaking of Whitney, no, we won't go to the Whitney Houston because I'm trying to tell y'all that. I tell you that interview. Anyway, we're not gonna drag Whitney up in here, but we love you and we miss you. So anyway, yeah, man.
So interesting end of 2019. So listeners, let me tell you what we'd like to do for you.
Hey.
So Isaac and I are gonna go off and try to enjoy these next 6 weeks, and because what you don't know is, yes, you hear us on the podcast, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes and doing these shows, and being behind the company and all this kind of stuff. So it is. You may think, well, what? They just get together once a week and record this episode. It's a lot more to it.
There's a lot more to it, folks.
And so we're actually looking forward to these next 6 weeks off. But what we're going to do is, while we're off, Isaac, myself, and Chester, our producer, we're each going to pick what was our favorite episode from this year, and we're going to highlight it sometime within the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to hear what each one of us thinks was our favorite episode of the year. And if you didn't hear it the first time around, here's an opportunity for you to listen to it. Even though all of our episodes are listed on the website,
that's right.
At least you can listen to the ones that we thought were the best. And when we say we're the best, probably were the ones where we had the most fun.
Right.
We probably gave very little information. They were entertaining to us.
Entertaining to us, right? Absolutely, folks. So we want to bring that to you. Hopefully, you'll find some enjoyment in the episodes that we thought we showed out a little bit. But it should be fun. So we want you to stick with us, and like I said, we'll be going into 2020, and man, no time.
Yes.
No time.
And once again, we're going to be out there next year. I know we will have a presence at 3 of the 4 Grand Slams, at 2 of the Masters and Tier 1 series.
Yep.
And I think we're also going to try to make sure we're at Labor Cup.
Oh, yes. Oh, for
next
sure.
year.
Yeah.
So we're going to be out there, and we're going to be giving you the behind the scenes where we can, and giving it to you just the only way brothers on tennis can.
Exactly. Crazy.
Yeah. So with that, we thank you for your listening. Continue to listen. Tell your friends about us. But we are going to take this very well-deserved break, and we're going to come back fresh at you at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
So for the final sign-off for 2019, this is your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Y'all be safe out there.